Alrighty, we got why World of Warcraft has become toxic from Mad Season Show. Why has World of Warcraft become so toxic, Mad? What has happened? Just in the 7-second intro, I am already back in 2009.
When discussing toxic communities, there are a handful of games out there that immediately come to mind. League of Legends is almost universally recognized for its intense and sometimes hostile player base.
Yeah.
It's a game where the competition is fierce and the stakes feel high.
League of Legends has an infamous reputation about being the most toxic of games. To say that, look at all like the modern day multiplayer, what do you call it? Free to play games, Counter-Strike, Valorant. What else? Warzone. To try to pick one exclusively as being like the most toxic is kind of silly, but to be amongst the tippity top is pretty bad, man. Why do you think a lot of these games started to implement all this like automated chat moderation,
leading to interactions that are often less than friendly?
Oh, let me see. 6215 life. Jonas has killed somebody. Sorry. Fuck your mother and fuck ye, you noob. I die and I make ulti and fire Yapu kill. Yay! I report you, fuck. Raffle, useless. Playing Mal and can't give even game something. Got killed. LOL. How hard to press E? Raffle. Please don't feed a fucking Alistar. Alistar has brain cancer. Lameo, Ali runs away with 70 HP and you got baited by egg. He is fucking noob. I died before the egg. Just report her. There goes promotion. Ha ha ha. You deserve that so hard. Elise. Please? Elise, please. Fucking useless silver fort idiot. Ha 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 ha. I think. Yeah, these are not the greatest. But dang, these are pretty bad. These are about on par. Like, who says that modern day trash talking has gotten so soft and it's not like, oh, it used to be worse back in the day of like the Xbox 360 console days with Modern Warfare 2. It was bad back then. And I think it's still bad like right now. I don't think we've, as like a human race, have put a dent in trying to correct trash talking in video games. I don't think, even with all the automated moderation and shit, I don't think we put a dent in it.
Call of Duty, another giant in the gaming world, is known for its cutthroat nature. It's a game where players are often pitted against one another in highly competitive environments, and this too can...
No. Call of Duty is not competitive. Maybe the Call of Duty League. Maybe that. Maybe the cute little ranked mode they have in it. That could be kind of competitive, but we all know it's not really competitive. Like, come on.
Lead to toxicity. And Counter-Strike, with its emphasis on precision and skill, has a community that can be quite unforgiving to newcomers or...
Oh, is this the boom headshot guy? Boom headshot. They keep lining up and I keep shooting them down. Boom headshot.
It's perceived as less skilled.
I can hear the boom. Damn.
And then there's World of Warcraft. A game that's been around for nearly 2 decades with
Yeah.
a community that's seen its fair share of ups and downs. You'll find many websites that list these games as having toxic communities, but they often move on without much
Bro, what is it with like the eerie music in the background? It's unnerving.
explanation. The goal of this video today is to go beyond the surface and to really explore and answer this question. Why is World of Warcraft considered toxic?
Why has the #1 MMO been considered the most toxic? I wonder why.
What is it about this game that's cultivated such a reputation over its near 20-year legacy?
Here's one thing. The game has been around for, what is it now, 16, 17 years? 18 years? The game is old enough to drive by themselves? Or is it like around, I don't know. It like a couple years ago it was like 15 and people kept saying on 15 and then I don't know what it is now. It's up there. And the general rule with video games that have been around for a long time is that the longer the game has been out, the larger the skill gap between the bottom and the tippy top players gets. Very big skill gap. That's one thing. Oh shit. Star Wars. Hell yeah.
New releases and
Bro, that horn, bro, I was there for opening midnight at my local movie theater and that Star Wars thing just dropped. Oh my god, you can't be doing this like nostalgia shit, dude. It's like taking me back. Cause I remember sitting at my bus stop and my buddy, he's like, dude, look at these cool Phantom Menace tickets I got. And it's like, they're like kind of like black and white, but Darth Maul was on there. And like apparently I didn't know that was the bad guy. And I was like, damn. And then I was sitting in the movie theater and I saw like the yellow Star Wars come on. I'm like, and everyone get hit with the horns. And everyone was just like, uproar. God damn.
the entertainment world are exhilarating. There's a certain magic to them, almost an addictive quality that pulls you in and keeps you engaged, getting caught up in the frenzy of a new phenomenon, whether it's a movie, TV show, or video.
This is back in the day, like Cataclysm global launch event footage. Like this is back in the day when, what was it, EB Games existed and they didn't get taken over from GameStop yet. Back in the day when you had to stand outside of a store for a physical disc copy of the game, and everyone was just out there either in the heat, humidity, or cold, or rain, or what have you, and everyone's just talking and kvatzing with each other about the favorite game that everyone was playing. For me, it was like Call of Duty and Halo, and a couple World of Warcraft lines I stood in. And it was so funny because like half the line was like Alliance and the other half was Horde, and they'd be like bickering back and forth and like kind of trash talking each other, even in the lines, dude. Like these dudes coming in with their backpacks and shit. They got literally like little pins. It's like, I'm the red team, I'm the blue team. You guys are betas. No, you guys are betas. And bro, the midnight launch events, even if they didn't have like any cosplayers, the banter that went on was just so great. And then over the course of time, in years, there was the transition to digital copies, and all of a sudden the lines got smaller and smaller, and then what was once a line that used to wrap around the building multiple times, it didn't wrap around so much. Maybe it wrapped around once, and maybe next year it maybe reached halfway, and then maybe a quarter, and then nobody stays up for midnight release for physical copies of games anymore. And yeah, everything's just digital.
Video game is an experience like none other. It's as if you're being whisked away to this new world, a new experience that feels fresh and exciting. The story progresses, new features are introduced, and mysteries that have been lingering on for years might finally be resolved. The fan base collectively gets lost in the unfolding narrative, sharing in the excitement and the joy of discovery.
That's so cool.
It's this communal experience is what makes these releases so special. But do you know what's also special?
Oh, here we go.
Balls with Manscaped, a global men's lifestyle brand that's revolutionizing the way that we think about men's grooming. I mean, when you've got the confidence of more than 10 million men worldwide, in other words, more than 20 million testicles shaved, you know they're doing something right.
Oh boy.
These communities may be toxic, but your crotch isn't, with the Performance Package 5.0 Ultra, featuring the brand
what a
new
fucking
lawnmower
segue, dude.
trimmer, which takes grooming precision to a whole new level. This bad boy comes with dual skin-safe blade heads, an upgraded trimmer blade for those clean-cut moves, and an interchangeable foil blade that leaves you with a super smooth and bare finish. And with a bigger LED light and waterproof design, you're covered whether you're in the shower or out. The Performance 5.0 Ultra package includes the Weed Whacker 2.0 for easy nose and ear hair trimming. The kit also comes with the Crop Soother aftershave lotion,
the Crop Soother
anti-chafing deodorant.
Crop
They're essentially
Preserver?
world buffs for your testicles.
Bro, the one part guys don't mind losing hair around is the dick and balls. Everywhere else, well, the only place you really want to like keep hair and not lose it is like top of your head and like your eyebrows and shit. Other than that, I wouldn't really mind going bald everywhere else. It's easier. Like, come on.
And don't forget the free gifts. The Boxers 2.0 and the Shed 2.0 bags for ultimate comfort and organization. Get your Performance Package 5.0 Ultra today at manscaped.com with my code.
Is this dude smoldering at me? Trying to hit me with the Robert De Niro? Why is he trying to smolder at other dudes opening the box? Come on.
MSS20 for 20% off, and also free shipping and these 2 free gifts. Your balls will thank you. Few categories of entertainment deliver this feeling more intensely than the MMORPG. Not the ball trimming. I'm talking about the excitement of this new experience. It is a genre where the allure lies in an online world that isn't just yours, but is shared with countless others
it's everybody's
across the globe. The world is persistent. It's always alive, with things happening in every corner, even when you're not logged in. It is this virtual reality that continues to exist and even...
Yeah. World of Warcraft is the metaverse before the metaverse was the metaverse. That's why Azeroth has way more value in its land than the metaverse and Crypto Island.
Evolve even when you're not present. For some, it even becomes a second life, a place where they can escape from the stresses of the real world and immerse themselves in an alternate reality. Much like other forms of entertainment, the initial period after an MMO's release is dominated by the desire to experience the game rather than to achieve specific goals. This period is defined by what is called free play as opposed to instrumental play.
Wait, free play versus instrumental play. Why it's rude to suck at Warcraft. We'll be referencing this great video by Folding Ideas.
In 1996.
Yeah, I think I did see that video. Why it's rude to suck at WoW. Yeah.
A German educational theorist and psychologist, Wolfgang Iser, contributed to the understanding of these types of play within the context of child development and educational theory. He described free play as the most natural and uninhibited form of play. It's spontaneous, unstructured, and self-directed, driven by curiosity and imagination. There are no rules or objectives imposed by others, only...
I mean, at least in so much as however much free reign the devs allow you to have. And even all of the free reign and slack that the devs give you, I've seen in the many years of World of Warcraft, they just nerf random ass shit. It's not even current content because they feel it gives players a certain advantage. All right? What a joke. Okay, let's keep going.
The intrinsic motivation guides the activity. For instance, a child building a fort out of cushions and blankets isn't doing so with a specific goal in mind.
I did
There's
that.
no reward waiting at the end.
I did that all the time, and my mom hated me for doing that. And this was more funny when I started getting like a little bit older, like 6 or 7. Bro, we had like the love seat cushion, the love seat couch. There was only like 2 cushions, and I was a little kid, and eventually I got strong enough to like pick the couch up, put it on its back, take the cushions off, put up like a wall, and then put like a blanket over it, and yeah, that was just the best. And then I slept in that shit, dude. I felt so cool. I'm like, and then the other thing was like, I like to get in my little fort, and I like to make, or I like to eat like Miracle Whip sandwiches. No meat or cheese, just Miracle Whip sandwiches. Don't ask me. That's what I like to eat as a kid.
The child is simply exploring, creating, and having fun, and lost in the joy of the moment. Instrumental play, on the other hand, is structured and goal-oriented. It often comes with external instructions or objectives with a clear end goal in sight, and while it can still be enjoyable, the focus shifts towards achieving a particular result, such as a classroom activity where children are tasked with solving a puzzle. The aim is to complete the puzzle correctly, which usually involves following rules and employing logic. So whereas the satisfaction from free play comes from participating in the activity itself, in instrumental play, it most often comes from the sense of accomplishment that...
So, you know what this seems like? This seems like single player games versus competitive games. You could also kind of say it like that as well. Like, I remember playing Skyrim and sinking hundreds of thousands of hours into Skyrim, just exploring all the dungeons and whatnot, and it was like the funnest thing ever. But again, I also remember the times where I would sink hundreds of thousands of hours into Halo and Call of Duty, trying to climb the little rank ladder mode, trying to unlock that gold skin or the red skin for the gun or the character, and that was pretty fun too.
Follows achieving this specific goal. Free play is seen as crucial for holistic development. It fosters creativity, problem solving, and social skills. When left to their own devices, individuals can create these entire worlds and characters and stories, and in the case of World of Warcraft, this type of play is most often seen in the world of role-playing, where players immerse themselves in the lore, and they create their own narratives within the game's universe. In this sense, they're not just playing the game, they're living in it, and creating their own stories and adventures as they go along. Instrumental play, on the other hand, while
1 hour, 16-minute, Nax Ramus 40 clear. World's fastest horde by Sally Baker's Fury Warrior raid lead POV. Oh, man. I saw this. This is crazy, dude. The 1 hour, 16-minute Nax 40 clear. The amount of coordination and precision is mind-boggling.
While different, is equally valuable. It helps develop specific skill sets, and it fosters critical thinking. Following rules and working towards a goal and focusing on achieving a particular outcome requires discipline, focus, and perseverance.
Hell yeah!
Let's go!
Yeah, nice shit.
These skills are crucial both in real life and in these virtual worlds that we inhabit. And in World of Warcraft, an example of instrumental play would be raiding, where players work together to overcome difficult challenges, requiring coordination, strategy, and a deep understanding of the game's mechanics. During the birth of a new movie series, or video game, or fandom of any sort, exploration and curiosity often overshadow this objective-based play.
Oh,
In
yeah.
other words, free play takes precedence over instrumental play.
I think I might know where he's gonna go with this. So like he just said, when a new game comes out, free play becomes the main thing. Even in competitive games, when a new FPS game comes out, nobody knows the meta, nobody knows the good gun or the bad gun, nobody knows like the fastest routes, nobody knows like what the good or bad healing items are. Nobody knows like what the good utility items are, the good attachments, the bad attachments, the good spots on the map versus the shitty spots. It is the most fun in a competitive game when it first releases for that reason, that nobody knows the meta. And I would say it's also the same thing, the same level of fun for single player games. Like when Elden Ring first came out, nobody knows what's good, bad. Nobody knows the routes. Nobody knows the maps. Nobody knows what the meta weapon is, the meta move, the good move, the bad move. Don't do this. Look at this. The bad guy's pathing route. You can cheese this boss by doing that. So on and so forth. It's like exploring takes precedence. And then I would say the longer a game is out, probably the free play words will probably shrink, and then instrumental play becomes more apparent. That's when people start to min-max just general gameplay and whatnot, even of single player games, because you have things like the speedrun community that speedrun single player games and make a competitive thing out of that. So not even single player games are safe from instrumental play, I would say. But yeah.
This is a very natural progression, as the initial thrill lies in the discovery and the novelty of the experience rather than achieving specific outcomes. It's a time when the world feels open and full of possibilities, and where the joy comes from the journey rather than the destination. Although both types of play are essential, free play has an advantage, especially in terms of community dynamics. It's less intense because there are no objectives at stake. Without specific goals, the game lacks a competitive edge, which can lead to a more relaxed and welcoming environment. But as time passes, and this initial exploration phase ends, the free play dynamic wanes and objective-based play and consequently instrumental play start to take over. Where there once were no conditions.
Once everybody figures out the meta, what's the good weapon, what's the bad weapon, what's the good class, what's the bad class, stack all warriors for a big dig DPS, maybe a couple rogues, maybe a mage or two for utility, or maybe like a warlock for debuffs or whatever the fuck else. Yeah, the meta always rears its ugly head. And I would say, at least in 2024, in modern day, the meta of a game will be solved before the game even gets released in many cases. Look at Deadlock. Right now, the game isn't even released yet, and they're already having tournaments on the game. There are already Excel spreadsheets on what abilities and what items counter characters. There's already a meta. The game's not released.
To win, the need to achieve victory at all costs begins to dominate. The fun is no longer about simply experiencing the dungeon, it's about completing it as quickly and as efficiently as possible. This shift introduces a level of pressure to perform well and often to impose that same pressure onto teammates, and it's no longer just about enjoying the game, it's about proving your worth both to yourself and to others.
Yes, but I would say for at least World of Warcraft, if you're going to join a guild that wants to play the game the same as you. Whatever you want to do, if you want to PvE and raid, great, do that. If you want to PvE and raid at a high level, that same guild might not be for you. You might have to go out and go find another guild. If you want to PvP in World of Warcraft, join a PvP guild. Over the course of time, as you get better, you might outgrow that PvP guild because you just simply got too good too fast, too good at the game. You might have to venture out and find a different guild. When I think a lot of the, what do you call it, dissatisfaction amongst players comes from, well, not only within themselves and, you know, wanting to achieve the thing, but, you know, since World of Warcraft is such a team-based game with a lot of its activities and whatnot, there's this arms race to try to find the best players doing the thing. It's almost like, you know how like FPS games have this thing called roster mania? And that's like the same reason why audience members don't even give a shit about the actual team. Audience members care more about a singular player than they do about a team. It's because of roster mania. There's always a team, and maybe like a team captain that's like solidified himself there for whatever. And then there's always this like constant trying to find the best fit, the best player that vibes the best, and so on and so forth. And I think once you can find that, then you can be happy. But up until that point, there's always this air of, oh, this player's not that good. I don't think he can be that good. He's kind of slacking. He's lacking. Or maybe it might even be me. Maybe I'm the slacker. Maybe I'm not as good as I thought. And because of that, I cause other people to not have fun in the game because they're not reaching the goal.
Don't go in the defile. Get out of that defile. Kidding me?
Get out of that defile.
Wow.
It is at this point that elitism begins to creep in.
Yeah.
Those who don't meet certain standards can...
What is this? Let me see. Let me read. Loot spec set to restoration. What? You've been removed from the group. Smolderthorn has left the left. Thanks for booting me after I carried you scrubs through 95% of the instance. Have fun sucking at life. Good luck finding other people you can mooch off of because you're a worthless piece of crap. No player named blah 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 is currently playing. Whispers, do everyone you know a favor and KYS. LOL.
be excluded or looked down upon, creating an environment that becomes increasingly divisive. And what was once a
wipe it. Toxic message hidden. Toxic message hidden. Go play on Rag or Azerlon if you're going to be dog shit. Learn the fucking mechanics.
collaborative and inclusive experience has
Damn,
now turned into
all from
a
the same player.
competitive and exclusionary one. Players who were once welcomed with open arms may find themselves now ostracized or criticized for not meeting the ever-increasing demands of the game.
And which brings us to our next argument. The longer you play the game, you will gradually get better at the game, and with it, you will want to achieve more and more in the game, either PvE or PvP wise. So there is this thing in the game of, and this exists in like other FPS games too, it just exists in all sorts of team play type games that I noticed. There is the carriers and the carried. Some people are okay with being carried. Less people do not want to be carried. Some people are okay with carrying, but I would say the majority of people do not want to carry people. They want to play. What I was going to say was that most people want to play with people at least on their same skill level, but I don't even know if that's true, to be honest. Like, if I'm silver, like me personally, I'd rather play with people like on my same skill level. But if you look back and ask me that when I was a little kid, I think I would have been like hyped to be carried from like some like FPS pro or some World of Warcraft like juice god or whatever. So maybe it's like an age thing. It's like the older I get, the less I want to be carried. Like, I want to do it myself. But then again, ask me that when I was a little kid, and I would have said the opposite. So, I don't know the answer, to be honest.
It's player base. While game developers don't directly control player behavior, they do largely guide it. As a game becomes more and more solved, and the collective interest of the player base shifts towards goal-oriented instrumental play, developers may start implementing systems and features that cater to this new focus. The quality of a player's gear becomes immediately discernible and boiled down to a number, and metrics like what dungeons or raids they've completed and how efficiently they've done so are now built into the game itself.
Damn, not only does it show like what you did, it shows your efficiency of how you did it. That's crazy. Because I know they have this like built-in like mouse over Raider IO thing where it's like you can just mouse over player. It's either what's it called? Rio. That's for like tippity top people to weed out other like lesser skilled people. Like, that's just crazy, man. That exists. That's like, that's just another reason I do not want to play retail. Like, I'll play it casually with my buddies randomly, but I haven't in years. But I just don't want to. I don't want to deal with it, man.
This creates an environment that allows for the immediate filtering of the good players from the bad and the optimal from the suboptimal. And where you once might have taken a player along a dungeon run because they were funny or enjoyable to be around, you now might replace that same player with a personality of Darkside Phil who does 20% more damage. And though min-max and optimized objective-based gameplay can be fun in its own right, the focus begins to shift towards it in almost every aspect of the game, often at the expense of the community spirit that once defined it, such as the natural course of all multiplayer games, because the problem lies not necessarily with their design as much as it does with our competitive human nature. Yes! Yes! Game designers can take measures to slow this process, and there have been documented cases of them doing so, such as in Final Fantasy XIV, another MMO, where damage meters are allowed only for personal use and are against the game's terms of service to broadcast them to other players or
That's hilarious. Like, you can have it, but you better not be talking in public about it. That's funny.
Shame someone for performing suboptimally.
Oh, wait, no, they are against TOS. Oh, okay.
There are choices, there are those that are right, and those that are wrong. If there is a win condition, it is possible to lose, and the foundation of World of Warcraft in particular is built upon these fundamentals.
Yep.
Player agency and
you better not have the shitty dog shit ass spec when we go to raid. You better not have your raiding spec on when you go to PvP. You better not, because if I find out, you're out.
Achievements. Even if it isn't directly, the players are competing against one another in some way. Who has the best gear? Who does the most damage? Who has the highest parse? Who has more mounts? Who has the coolest mount? Who has this cool looking rare armor set? Who has more gold? Who has more achievement points? Max level characters, PvP ranking, and so on and so forth.
Why did you forget to mention the little Pokemon of World of Warcraft? Whatever that mode is called, I forgot. Does everybody seem to forget like the little Pokemon mode? I don't know. I never played it, but I just think how it's an entire system built into WoW that's basically just Pokemon, but everybody forgets to talk about it.
Your performance in the game is directly compared to others playing it. It is an environment crafted specifically for instrumental play, and for all of its strengths, a wholesome community is transitory, existing only for a brief period of time when it is new and the players are preoccupied with experiencing it rather than experiencing it correctly. Such is the fate of not only World of Warcraft, but of most MMORPGs and by extension, most multiplayer games. The answer to why the World of Warcraft community has become toxic, at least in part, lies in the passage of time.
There it is. He nailed it. What is this? What the fuck? Investment?
In all forms of entertainment, not just MMOs, and not even just video games, there's a certain measure of investment that comes from three key resources: money, time, and emotion. These three elements are the foundation of our engagement with the things that we love, and they play a significant role in shaping our experiences and our communities. You pay your hard-earned money to play the game, to watch the movie, to attend a sporting event, and you spend your valuable time interacting with it, investing countless hours into whatever form of entertainment that you're...
Damn, I cannot imagine spending so much time painting all these little figures, dude. That's crazy to me.
passionate about. And over time, if you enjoy it enough, you might even become emotionally attached to it in some significant way. And it's this emotional investment is what most often makes these experiences meaningful and memorable. But it can also be the source of conflict and tension within communities.
Oh, yeah.
Time and money are straightforward. You spend them and they're gone. But emotion is where things get more complicated.
Yeah.
Most of us are guilty of reminiscing fondly about that nostalgic game series from our childhood.
Oh, yeah. I played the shit out of this game, Star Wars Galaxies. And I even downloaded a little emulated version and leveled up. What did I level up? A commando? Yeah. And then once I got like Master Commando, I was like, okay, even though this isn't the end game, I feel like I've beaten the game. It's just like a self-imposed, I beat the game. Even though I didn't, you know, in general, like with this game, it's like you want to become like a master, like grandmaster, like Jedi, whatever. And that's the end game. But I was just like, oh, okay. Maybe this game wasn't as good as I thought it was. Because it was like on an emulated server. But like when I was in the heyday of Star Wars Galaxies, back in, Jesus, 2004, 5, 6 or something like that. Bro, me and my buddy, Kyle, would stay up because he was like trying to level up Smuggler, but there was like one little block of talents where you had to splice open like boxes, kind of like how a rogue has to sit out to like level up his like lock picking. You have to like lock pick locks and just sit in Orgrimmar and just like pedal will open lock box, blah blah blah. You kind of had to do that as a smuggler. You splice open boxes, or you could, I think you could like splice weapons to like do more damage, or you splice armor to be more defensive. I forgot exactly what it was. It was just splicing. And whenever he went to sleep, I'd be like, okay, we would take turns of like, he would wake up and he would just sit and try to splice shit, and then I would go to sleep and he would splice shit, and then we just like rotate. But all the while we would be listening to like Linkin Park Meteora Theory, or Meteora and Chaos Theory. And yeah, that was the shit. Doing what was like the Sand People, doing the Sand People raids, or just that area. Dang.
Childhoods, or that unforgettable football game we attended, or maybe perhaps when we first saw Star Wars on the big screen. These experiences evoke strong emotional responses, and we carry them with us long after the event has passed. They become a part of who we are, and they help shape our...
Oh yeah, the split screen. Bro, you only knew where I was because you screen looking. Quit screen looking. I'm not screen looking. Yes, you are. How do you know where I spawned? I'm just running around.
Who we are, and they help shape our identities and relationships with others. MMOs, however, are a unique case. They are a particularly hardcore genre of game in terms of investment. They're expensive, requiring expansions every couple of years.
Yep.
Warcraft, for instance, still has a monthly subscription fee just to play on top of...
Bro, it's like a fat owl. That's a mount? Who would buy this? This isn't even that good looking. I thought the paid mounts were supposed to like look objectively better. Who's gonna pay for a fat owl?
Of a pretty intense cash shop for.
Oh my god, there's a sale! There's a sale! Everything in the store is half off! Oh my god, get it while it's hot!
Cosmetics and progression. Told you so, by the way. It's a financial commitment that not every gamer is willing or able to make, but for those who do, it's a significant investment.
If you've been playing since 11/24/04, 238 months, which is I don't know how many years, for times $15 a month, $3,570 is what you've spent from release till current. Game plus plus expansions, base editions, $550 total. $4,120, not counting microtransactions. Oh my god, what are you guys doing? Fueling the fire of dog shit?
The genre is also incredibly time consuming. MMOs are built on the foundation that there is no end.
Well, here's the trick. You just gotta be faster than the sign. And that's how you finish. And then you sit down, but the sign keeps moving afterward. And then you sprint again, you finish the game again, and then you sit down again. That's how you finish the game.
That the content is continuously added in order to keep players engaged and, more importantly, subscribed. World of Warcraft, for example, just released its 10th expansion and will be celebrating its 20th anniversary this November. Some players have been playing it for the entirety of the game's lifespan.
That's crazy.
Dedicating years of their lives and thousands of dollars to exploring Azeroth and all it has to offer. 20 years of memories, trials, tribulations, successes, failures, friends, enemies, and emotional investment.
Emotional damage.
For many, World of Warcraft has become more than just a game. It's a comfort activity, a consistent and everyday part of their lives that provides a sense of stability in a world that is often unpredictable and chaotic. It's something that they can rely on.
At this point, World of Warcraft is very predictable. The only thing that's not predictable is how bad the story is going to be.
And it's something that's been there through the good times and the bad, and this deep connection only strengthens their investment into the game. Time, money, and emotion. This intense investment creates an equally intense community where some players attach their identity to the game.
Yeah.
While, on the other hand, perhaps due to its addictive nature, have attached their identity to disliking it. As stated, MMOs are built upon the fundamental principle of change. New features, systems, classes, land masses, and so on are constantly introduced, removed, or otherwise altered for better or for worse. And the result is a community that is often at odds with itself, divided between those who love the game and those who love to hate what it has become.
Oh, yeah.
In recent years, there's been a lot of negativity surrounding
Blizzard's reputation collapsed in just 3 years, from free speech scandals to massive layoffs to a discrimination lawsuit, a history of Blizzard's recent controversies and major departments. Bro, this might as well be a goddamn like a multiple Encyclopedia Britannica essay that just like you could like infinite scroll. You know how like you could scroll a lot and then the little sidebar gets smaller and smaller? This scroll bar is probably going to be like a damn pixel big at the end of this article.
Blizzard, the developer for World of Warcraft, from laying off a record number of employees after a record-breaking fiscal financial quarter to releasing unfinished games, facing human rights controversies, poor expansion releases, and even lawsuits. Blizzard has been thrust into a whirlwind of controversy.
Bro, I think there has been more controversy with Blizzard than I have fingers and toes.
This has led to an abundance of criticism and negativity, with Blizzard becoming something of a punching bag for journalists and documentarians and the gaming community as a whole.
Oh, yeah.
And while much...
But here's the thing. People don't care. Why? Why do I say that? Is because people are still playing the games. People don't care about all that dumb political shit or how bad or good or whatever the workers are being treated. Nobody cares about that. People are still playing the Blizzard games. Blizzard is still a behemoth in the gaming sphere. They just are. And just well, like not just recently, but like about a year ago or 6 months ago, they released like some of their WoW subs that and the pattern that each one has been going through, and they've been strong. The WoW subs, they've been like hovering around like 7 million to like 5 million. Like they've been like up and down, and you get like those are concurrent unique players, even with the bots. All of those 5 to 7 million people all got to pay $15 a month. And this has been going on for about 20 years now. Think about it. That's a lot of money.
Much of it is deserved.
That's
This
just
constant
WoW.
barrage of criticism has also created a bandwagon effect where much of this negativity surrounding the game and the developer is either overdone or done in bad faith. It has long since reached a point where there's now pushback, with longtime fans of the game who have invested so much of themselves into it, fighting back with what they perceive as
Leave the multi-billion dollar company alone. They didn't do anything wrong.
equally personal toxicity. This defensiveness is understandable, but it also contributes to the toxic environment that has become synonymous with the game. This phenomenon isn't unique to World of Warcraft. It's true of any long-running game or series, but it's particularly pronounced in MMOs due to the intense time and financial commitments
The forever game. The game that never ends.
required. It's not just a random Call of Duty match. It's an adventure that spans decades for some players. There's so much more to attach yourself to in the MMO genre, which makes the community dynamics even more charged, and therefore the potential for toxicity even higher.
Yeah.
And the result is a mix of toxic positivity and toxic negativity.
Yep.
The fanboys versus the haters. Those who treat the game like a girlfriend versus those who treat it like an ex-girlfriend. Meanwhile, a potential new player who is ignorant of all of this looks on in confusion and embarrassment.
I mean, I have no idea about the rate of incoming new players into World of Warcraft alone, let alone the Blizzard ecosystem of all their games. I think that would be an interesting statistic that gets released. The Blizzard would never release that number. Like, oh, this month we got plus this month many new players, or this month we got minus this many players and all that shit. Yeah, Blizzard would never do that, but I think it'd be a really cool statistic to see.
World of Warcraft, League of Legends, Dota, Counter-Strike. These are games and franchises that have been around longer than some of you have been alive.
Yeah.
They've become staples, comforts, and significant parts of the player base's identity. When you combine this with the shift from free play to instrumental play and the hyper-optimization and metagaming that follows, it creates an environment that many today consider to be toxic and unwelcoming. And
what was that? A hot take. The WoW community is trash to anyone who's not a veteran. Blizzard updating the new player experience is not going to be enough. I mean, it helps. It's like, if you're a new player, probably playing WoW, you do like the new player experience. Like, you literally zoom to like level cap. Well, not level cap, to like minus 10 levels of whatever the current expansion level cap is. And then you play through the expansion. And then probably once you get through the expansion, that is when you hit like your first filter, your first wall. And then you go into like your daily routine grind, whatever, of, oh, I got to do all my mythic zeros to unlock mythics. And then I got to do, maybe I do some PvP, so on and so forth. And then, what is it, delve? That's like the new hotness right now. Maybe you do some delves. And then once you get all the mythics, then you start working on like the mythic, like, I don't know, 15s or 20s or however they like rework the dang thing. And then maybe you do your raids, and you gradually increase the difficulty of your raids and whatnot. And it's just, I don't know, like throughout the whole experience, there's like layers. There's filters And I don't know, me personally, like, I know WoW's not a bad game, but I just don't want to. There's too much baggage with it. Like, I don't want to. Like, even if all my friends were playing it, I'm just like, no thanks.
While the nature and structure of these games plays a role, what's truly responsible for the decline in the quality of these communities is our competitive human nature and our tendency to invest too much of ourselves into our passions, whether that be movies, sports, TV shows, or video games like World of Warcraft. The problem is the same. It's not just about the games themselves. It's about how we as people interact with them and the communities that form around them.
Dang.
Farewell for now, mortals. We hope you enjoyed today's video.
Dang.
See you again soon.
That's a good ass video. That's another banger for Mad Season Show. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably agree with him on like everything he says, man. I don't know when the toxicity starts. When like a new player first experiences the toxicity, I would probably imagine it's probably around like, I don't know, maybe Mythic 2, 3, 4, 5, probably around there as far as Mythics, and then maybe like in dungeon or in raids, it would probably be around like maybe you do the LFR and then you do normal, and then maybe the transition from like normal into like, what's the next level? Heroic. Maybe there's like some friction and toxicity there, or maybe in PvP. Once you get, I don't know, 20 or 30 matches like under your belt, and you start to realize the ebb and the flow of the matches, it's like, oh, I should have did this. Oh, I should have did that. Yeah, that would be my guess. I don't know when toxicity starts to rear its head, but that's usually like a make or break point for a lot of players, and it's up to the developers to try to push that point as far back as humanly possible, because they don't want a player to realize how much more skillful the tippity top players of the game are. You know, because they see a game that's been out for 20 years. It's like me as a Joe Schmo new guy. It's like, oh my God, that guy's been playing the game for 20 years. He's so good. Oh my God, how am I gonna ever match him? It's like intimidating, but it's just a game. I don't know, man. But overall, cool video. I like it, and I want to see more. But other than that, that's it for me. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, peace.